Did you know that immigrant women are just as likely to work in white-collar professions as native-born men? There are many badass immigrant women out there, from politics to sports to science. But immigrant women are also more likely to come to the US through the family-based immigration system than their male counterparts. And they face a host of different issues. It's Women's History Month, so we take a deeper look.
More than 23 million immigrant women are in the United States. That's more than half of all of the immigrants in our country. And women are more likely to come through family-based immigration system, and they're also more likely to become naturalized citizens. One of the things that is really important to understand is that immigrant women make up 16% of the workforce, and they are overrepresented in the service sector and in the care economy. This means that many work in essential industries. They're harvesting our food, they're preparing our food, they're serving our food, and they're also taking care of our children and our loved ones, as well as educating future generations of our society.
Recently, the uptick of immigrant women fleeing Central America has been huge. They're fleeing gang violence, corruption, gender-based violence, and poverty. In previous decades, men migrated and sent back money to their families. But today, as sons and daughters are forced into gangs and violence, women are taking their families and leaving for a better life.
Several countries in Central America have been particularly destabilized, and those are factors including climate change, natural disasters, but gender-based violence and gang violence has been a particular push factor. There is rarely justice. As many as 98% of gender-related killings go unprosecuted in Latin America, for example. And so we are seeing an epidemic of what's called femicide, right? Gender-based murders that happen particularly, again, in those three countries. Very recently, in 2018, for example, the United Nations reported that El Salvador had the highest number of femicides in the world. And these are often the drivers for why we see so many mothers and young girls making that perilous journey to the US border to seek asylum, to seek safety in this country. I think we're living in a really pivotal moment in history where we have record numbers of migration around the globe. And that increased migration will only continue, again, as a result of femicide, as we talked about, and gender-based violence, but also climate change, poverty, inequality, increased xenophobia, and then, of course, war. As the United States is having a racial reckoning and really looking at the historical racial inequalities, we also must take a look at the patriarchal structures and systems that keep so many women oppressed and also keep them as targets of gender-based violence.
The story of immigrant women is very diverse. Those that come through the legal immigration system are just as likely to work and have jobs just like their native-born counterparts do. But increasingly, there's many women that are fleeing violence and persecution and poverty. To learn more about this issue, as well as many other immigrant-related topics, join us inside our restaurants, follow us on social media @ImmigrantFood, and stay united at the table. See you guys next month.